What's up, guys? DankRNG here, and I just figured that I'd throw together a quick Enigma PvE guide for you guys. I know I haven't made a video in a while, and I apologize, but I've been loving Orb. Staff Orb is like insane in PvE, one of the strongest combinations that I've found. Obviously, everybody knows Expo Orb is insane right now, but right behind that, it's got to be Staff Orb. I'm pumping out some crazy numbers and like the solo dungeons and that type of thing, and getting rank 1 on multiple world bosses and even arc boss Tevin. You know, I figured now is a good time to go ahead and share the build. I've been fine-tuning it a little bit, but I hope that you enjoy it. Now, I'm not going to say that, you know, like I'm min-maxed or anything like that, right? These are the pieces that I used for Staff Dagger, and I am a PvPer first and then a PvEer second. So, you know, like you could maybe get a little bit better damage out of taking the gloves for a lot more attack speed. Instead of the chest piece. I just happened to have the chest piece. I was using an endurance staff dagger build, and so I have like fortitude, and you'll see, whoop, even on my staff I have fortitude on it currently. I will be probably swapping that over later to perception. But if we take a look at the quest log, this is what we're going to end up using eventually. For PvE, it'll be very solid on mana. You'll have 1800 mana regen, and we have plenty of mana cost efficiency in the build. I'm going to link the quest log down in the description as well as in the comments, so be sure to check that out. Of course, my staff dagger guides are on here, and you can see the staff dagger and the staff orb gear is practically the same thing. It's just one's using a dagger, one's yeah. So I wouldn't use this staff dagger PvE. That's kind of dead. Just use staff orb. Staff orb good. Okay, staff dagger good for PvP. Staff orb good for honestly both. I haven't cooked up a Enigma PvP build, but I'm sure you could make a very solid build. I've seen some people in a battlegrounds running it that seem to be nice and tanky, and as everyone know, like this is the most AoE that you're gonna get in the game, is using a staff and an as the most deletion potential, the most. I think that as far as PvP goes, I know a lot of you guys are probably gonna be asking me to make a PvP guide. I'm just gonna keep playing staff dagger. I've played staff dagger for a year and a half. I might dabble around in Enigma PvP builds, but it's not anything that I would like really want to put out there. I kind of like to wait until I know a lot about something before I start putting out information on it personally. And I feel like I've gotten to that point PvE wise, as you can see from the secret dungeons. I know I put out a little short of me killing the fall shock and destroy in 5 seconds, but I actually did it in 2.7 the next day. I just wasn't going to record another video, which was pretty much as fast as the Expo, actually faster than the Expo orbs were pumping out, at least in my rankings on my server or region or whatever. It was absolutely cranking like crazy damage, and as you can see, we're rank 1 on these too. So like it definitely does a lot of damage, and I'm not fully geared yet. Like I'm still using some of my old tier 2 accessories. This doesn't have traits and stuff. I don't have resonances on a lot of stuff. This is like super easy to get, and I would recommend people get this. A lot of people are hyping up the tier 2 orb that lowers the stellar cooldown or whatever and lets you activate it more, but I haven't used that, and I'm still ranking damage and rank 1 and all those solo bosses. But just to go into rotation real quick, well, it's pretty simple. You slam all your buffs, right? You slam high focus, you slam amplification, bail, summon satellite, and then I mean if you're at a world boss or something, you could use a remedy or pop your artifact if you so choose to do so. You could start off with 3 orbs on the ground real quick, so that before the boss spawns you could be using your supernova collapse, which is what I use to get the very fast times. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rotation now. You want to make sure that you are using your Milky Way before blowing most of your cooldowns, because that's giving you a massive damage amp. Yeah, you always want to have your orbs down. Don't be afraid to put them down. It's them being out that's dragging out your mana. Pressing the orb button itself isn't actually going to drag much mana. And if you have everything else on cooldown, then you're fine, you know. You want to make sure that you're getting your orb effects off. That's first and foremost, right? And there's probably a little bit more optimization that could be going on in this rotation, but it's basically just mash your buffs. You could throw out 3 orbs if you'd like, pre-do the supernova collapse, and then you're going to default into summon constellation with the Milky Way into immediate stellar dash, and then you could burn like meteor and that type of thing. And then it's basically just spamming your abilities on rotation. This and this are getting buffs tonight. They got buffed in Korea. So I'm looking forward to that. On Thursday we'll have even more damage. They are nerfing stellar dash, but I mean, it's pretty simple. If you feel like I did the rotation too fast or you didn't understand it, you can definitely just take the YouTube video and put it in like 0.5 times mode, and you could see it all over again, slower until you can get it. But it's basically just, you know, popping your buffs, getting your Milky Way in there, and then just blasting off everything. If you want, you can supernova after. Just make sure that you're spawning 3 orbs. You always want to have 3 orbs out. This will refresh your orbs. I'll go into my specialization here in a second, and my mastery, but 3 orbs is the most important thing for maximum orb effects. Like whenever you explode your AoE here, it will refresh your orbs, but it will also explode around the orbs that are on it. And if you don't have any other buttons to press, it's, you know, why not just keep your 100% orb uptime? Like that refresh, it did 2 slams there, and it exploded the orbs around it. So it's deep value to try and keep it up as much as possible. Yeah, it's pretty simple, you know. Summon Constellation sick, Milky Way sick. Here is my weapon skills and the passives that I use. There might be a couple things that somebody might want to change around. That's perfectly fine, man. I'm not saying that this is like the end all be all best build that anybody could ever make for Enigma. It's just what I've been using and what's been working for me, right? I do have the Luzanoa and my staff. I'm using Luzanoa Hail, so I feel, you know, I feel like Eridus is decent, but when you look at it this way, right? Look at it this way. I have one extremely impactful, and then when you're casting it, like a lot of people don't think about this and the damage increase. When you're casting it, it's very fast. It's 0.5 seconds, 0.6 seconds for me to cast it, as opposed to like the 1 second or 1.2 or 3 seconds that I would normally have with Hellfire Rain. And that's like an extra 0.7 seconds that you could use 1 or 2 more abilities to increase your DPS in that time frame. Whether it's on a world boss or you're doing raid and trying to meet a DPS check, whatever it may be, pumping up your secret dungeons, right? And I've done the Hall of Illusion Nightmare mode, no problem. Like this build sleeper mode. I didn't even know the mechs, and I just blasted through them. Like whatever, dude. Build's nuts. I hope you guys enjoy it. Here is the mastery that I have right now. I'm not at 200. I was a slacker and I didn't max out my wand and all my other masteries, that type of thing. I need to catch up. I would say that for the overall mastery, you want to use this right here to give you a free 25% buff duration instead of like literally whichever one you don't want to use. You know, I like to leave some things for people to figure out. I feel like most of these are like PvP related, but like this is really good, like 25% buff duration for 3 seconds upon using survival skills. I mean, like, bro, this is a this is a survival skill, so boom, you use this and you have 25% buff duration on most of your abilities for 6 seconds or whatever. Like it's yoked, bro. But this is what I threw together. The last 2 points I'm gonna put here, and then we're gonna put it here for the extra buff duration. Buff duration's amazing. We're using like fucking 4 buffs, excuse my French, ever. This is what I like. You could change a couple things around, you know, if they don't make sense to you. I feel like Tranquil Will, The Cosmic Cycle is massive for our mana upkeep. I don't ever have any problems with my mana in any PvE content yet. It's just chilling. And a big portion of that is because Tranquil Will synergizes. You'll see increased mana cost efficiency by 15% when remaining mana is 33% or less. That synergizes with the Mana Spring node down here, increases mana regen by 60% when the user's mana is 30% of max mana or less. So you'll always see me like around the 30% mana mark, because that's just, and I mean, you know, that's just how it's going to be. I'm going to get better mana cost efficiency and better mana regen when I'm down there. It looks like I'm terminally out of mana, but I'm actually like in my sweet spot, right? When this is my staff mastery, you know, nothing crazy. It's 200. Like, you could take out a couple nodes if you don't want them, but whatever, bro. I don't even think I'm using Frostmaster right now. Because we had to make room for all these sick orb passes, like this one for the mastery. But the thing is like, this isn't really gonna help me in PvE at all, and this isn't gonna help me in PvE at all. So it's like, whatever, this gets selected, cool. I was using Detonator Bombardment, but I completely took that off my bar because I found that I did not have room for it. There is a world where somebody can like just use Summon Constellation and Milky Way and Void Slash and keep all of their orbs up all the time, as long as they're not using like Supernova Collapse to make them disappear. And then you could probably get rid of Star Calling, but I'm not going to mathematically giga sweat out how to do that. That's not me, bro. I'm on cruise control. And for the specialization, we're just using this for this staff. Just for the orb. You could switch a couple things up, just like with the rest of the build, man. None of this is like mandatory. You could change out a skill or two. Experiment, that's what I'd recommend people do, and then let me know your findings so that I could improve my build, we could improve builds together, that type of thing. I'm not really a fan of like all the gatekeeping that goes on in games. Like I've never been into that. But yeah, I tried not to make this video too long. It's already been 11 minutes of me yapping, but I hope you guys have an absolutely phenomenal night. Check out the quest log. I also stream. I just ended stream 10:46 at night, but I figured I'd go ahead and push out this build. People have been nagging me for it for a while, and I hope you guys have an absolutely phenomenal night, man. Hell yeah. Peace out.